resources are available to me. This is Carlos, Lawrence and Lana, the three core things in Vision 2020, and all of these leaves coming from them are the different people in the cohort that I'm on, all going off from Vision 2020 in their own different directions, and we're all layering up on top of each other as we learn from each other and grow from each other. And we'll be connected to this branch forever. Well, probably not forever, but this little twig with this collection of leaves has fallen off a tree, but all the leaves have stayed together, so they all feel particularly close to one another right now. Pretty sturdy. If I give it a shake, they don't fall off. And there's some moss on the twig, which I think represents that things can grow not on us, but because of the structure that we've created or that we're part of. The energy that a program like this represents for the world that isn't necessarily connected to us as individuals. This is my Batman mask, which I've just found, and I think that it represents the quiet, moody superhero within us, waiting to be called on to save the day. But Batman is a bit of a loner, and comes from a pretty upsetting personal life story. And I think Batman represents the mask that we all wear. Sometimes we're conscious of what we're bringing. Sometimes we're too busy saving the day to worry too much about what we're bringing by way of trauma. That's what my Batman mask represents in terms of the baggage that I and maybe others bring to Vision 2020, and we can still be superheroes nevertheless. This is a pen which I've just found, which is full of ink, and it represents the writing down of things, which I'm going to be doing on this course. So I'm going to keep that, and there's nothing wrong with it. I hope it works, and I look forward to using it, because when you put pen to paper, sometimes lots of stuff comes out that would not have come out if you hadn't have written it down. I really like this branch. It makes me laugh a bit. It reminds me of the things that I find in nature with my sons that we call ticky wiggles, which is a thing that can be used to tickle someone with. So this is my ticky wiggle, and I like it because it also makes me think about peacocks and pride and sort of, showing your feathers off. And I like the idea of being able to be proud of something that I've created, and for the first time doing something that I'm really proud to pin my name to. I've got quite a lot of experience of doing things that either I'm not particularly proud of having, not that I'm not proud of doing, having done, but that I don't really feel represent who I am. And I feel like I'm at a point now where what I'm building is actually a really good representation of my personality, my professional experience, and my skill set, and my academic experience, and my passion. So I do feel proud. So this Tiki Wiggle represents both my pride and the pride that I would like to continue to have for what I'm doing. So wrapped up in that is a continued energy around what I'm doing. But also the Tiki Wiggle thing is because I want to be light-hearted about it, and I want to be tickled now and again. So humour for me is a big thing, not taking it all too seriously. So that's what this Tiki Wiggle represents. Things that don't feel so good in the moment, whether that's an anxiety about what I'm building or a hormonal moment where I feel riddled with anger or confusion, and to try and flutter above it. I'm really excited that I found these because I've never seen them before, and they're amazing. They're basically my cheerleading pom-poms, and I don't know what to do because they're all attached to this incredible tree. Oh my god, there's so many cheerleading pom-poms all over this ginormous pom-pom tree, and I don't know what to do because I really, really want to take them as an object, but I don't want to damage the tree. But this really represents something that's so important to me, which is cheerleading other people, and how much energy I get from being able to see good in people and encouraging people. It's that thing of when you give someone a present, it's so much more enjoyable to watch them open it than it is sometimes when you receive presents yourself. These pom-poms are quite interesting because they're quite spiky, and I can be quite spiky as well. Wow, they're super spiky. So I'm not saying that my cheerleading comes with spikes, but I am someone who is both a very proud cheerleader type, but also not so proud spiky person. So I really love these. I wish there was some on the floor. Oh, I think there is one. How am I going to pick up this spiky pom-pom? How am I going to carry it? And how can I have this on my person? A pom-pom that's spiky, cheerleading, and sometimes not the nicest thing. Anyway, I'm going to try and carry my pom-pom with me, always. I've been walking on lots of stones, but I like this one because it's really smooth, and so I'm going to take it, and it's going to represent, the kind of smooth approach, which I think this course will help me with. I just had to do another shot of this mad, brilliant, cheerleading spiky pom-pom tree. This is another object that I can't take with me physically, which is probably apt because it's a bench just randomly in the middle of a field with no one in it, which for me is going to represent mindfulness, watching, being present, and just allowing the natural progression of things to peacefully unfold. It's also going to be where I sit to read the next chapter of the ritual and put my objects down, see what I have to make next. This is a really, really moving moment for me. The bench that I chose to sit on to reflect on my objects is dedicated to a little boy. and he only lived for 35 minutes, as you can see. Riley Arthur Patterson Croft. I think what I make of that is how incredibly grateful I am for every single moment of clarity for my family and for my sons. Nobody on this planet deserves to lose somebody that they love so soon after they meet them. And I can't imagine what that little boy's parents went through. I live in fear of my children being unwell. It makes me feel guilty. And I have this, underlying guilt about how much I'm showing up for them and how good a mum I'm being. Like, being so obsessed with working out what my own values are, so that I can instill in them all the things that I want for myself. A sense of pride, a sense of comfort, friendship. So I think for me, also the Vision 2020 course, which I haven't thought about, represents putting into a process the kind of path that I would love to nurture in my children. Not responsible for, but responsible to. I found my something big for part 2 of the ritual. What clarity am I seeking? And it represents the point of clarity that I'm looking for, which is how can we use something natural, lots of natural things, but create something out of them that is a shelter, something beautiful, something magical, something intriguing, something that other people can benefit from. So the clarity is, what do I already have, or what is available to me that I can build something out of? How can I put all the pieces of the jigsaw together in this harmonious way that creates something that's safe and reliable and purposeful, which I'm going to walk away from now. It's important to me because I feel like I've got a lot to give. I feel like there's a lot of pieces in the puzzle which could work really harmoniously together. I'd love to make something out of what I have available to me that supports others as well. Whether that's clients, family, why this is important to me is because I rejoice in craft, and I love pieces of music that come together. Whether it's a Mozart sonata that has a 4/5 cadence at the end, that is a sort of harmonious conclusion. I sort of feel like it would be great to look back on my life and see how all the bits of the puzzle fit together. That sort of squiggly career retrospective philosophy about being able to look back and tell people the story of how at the time none of it made any sense at all, but on retrospect it all makes perfect sense. it's string time. I'm going to tie this piece of string to this bench, which is a different bench. This bench is for my Nomsi, who loves this place so much. And I'm going to love this place so much after doing this ritual, so that's good. So I'm going to tie one end of the string to this bench, and I'm going to tie the other end to my belt, and then I'm going to prepare myself to look a bit weird, and I'm going to take a step towards my point of clarity, which is over there in the tree, my structure. There it is. I don't really find that I care whether or not people think I look a bit weird or not, so this is not a problem for me at all. And I'll take a step towards my point of clarity, let the string stop me, and then become present in my ability to move. And I'm going to ask myself, what inside me is preventing me from moving? I'm going to let the string represent all these internal barriers, and then I'm going to use my little penknife to cut myself loose. So interestingly, the piece of rope that was holding me back from clarity has actually broken my the belt that I use for running, which is kind of annoying because that's what I sometimes hang my sunglasses off. So what do we make of that? Well, definitely there's a need for me to do something about being held back, and the thing that's holding me back has broken my ability to get to my point of clarity, but also the thing that I use to run, which represents for me space, creating space for myself. So that's rubbish. I need to get over that shit, because creating space for myself is really important as well as clarity. So I am not going to let it hold me back anymore. I cut it. So I'm now trying to find an obstacle to pass over to represent major challenges. So luckily, I didn't realise that this was going to be necessary because I hadn't read it yet, but there is a bridge which is not far from my structure of clarity. So in order to cross the bridge, I'm going to have to go over this obstacle here, which is a load of logs. Whoops. I'm going to stand in front of these logs for a minute just to remember and be present in what I think is needed for me to overcome the challenge. So each step on these logs, which I do need to navigate quite carefully because there's a sort of swampy little stream, which is going to, if I fall in, be quite annoying. So I'm just going to take it easy on these loggies here. So I'm now navigating these logs, each one of which represents a little bit. There's nothing massive for me, no massive hurdles, but there are quite a few little bits of log here and there, which, into the swamp I fell there for a second, but nothing too serious. I must choose the path. Whoa, not that one. So I'm just going to go with a relatively easy path. I could be really ambitious and competitive with myself and sort of go there instead of up there. Alright, fuck it, I'll do it. I like a bit of a challenge. So I've got me bundle with me here. Hopefully I haven't lost too many things along the way. I think I might have lost my little stone. That's a shame. But I suppose we will need to lose some things along the way. And as long as we can kind of retain what they represent, I suppose that's the whole point. So yes, I may well have to say goodbye to a couple of things based on the fact that I've chosen a bit more of an ambitious path. I haven't fallen in yet. Excellent. I've made it to the other side. And now I'm going to remember as I stand on the other side of this bridge what I think is needed from me. I think it's a sense of humour, not taking everything too seriously. A celebration of that which is beautiful, has spiky elements to it, that you can serendipitously chance upon what will be your superhero power, and sometimes you can't force that. That as long as there's ink in the pen, it should work, in theory. That the smooth path, the idea of something being smooth, probably is not a reality, so you may have to lose that idea along the way. And I'm going to try and flutter above anything that is a bit painful as I go. In I go to sit inside.
So here I am inside my house of Clarity, which I'm very pleased about because I've got some really nice viewpoints from here, and I love the fact that these logs that have made my house of Clarity allow me, the windows between them frame different parts of the scenery in a way that I wouldn't have considered if I didn't have that kind of structural frame around me. So I feel contained and I feel safe and I feel sheltered, but at the same time I've got this incredible landscape around me which is being framed really beautifully by the structure of Clarity. I think that after all, I found that ritual very nourishing.